And I think we are live. I'll be right with you guys. Need to share this information on social media. Oh no, Discord. All right, this little console that could. Oh my gosh, Discord, what the heck? Why does Discord have so many updates? Oh my gosh, 15 out of 18 updates. What the heck? What the heck is Discord? Hey, SPU streams, how are we doing? We'll be right back. I want to post it on Discord. And the Discord, I haven't been running Discord on this notebook for a long time, so it needs to update. But it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be an exciting mode today, and we're gonna listen to Super Mario music in the meantime. Is the audio okay? Does it sound fine? Can you hear me? Yeah. The Discord. All right, where is the HDMI cable? Not HDMI, USB cable for the soldering. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Why does it take? It's still at 16 out of 18. What is happening? I'm gonna close the browser just to give him a bit more juice. Oh, 17 words, 17. This is gonna be an exciting mod today. I've been dreading this a little bit, but also looking forward to it because I think that this will, the possibilities will be endless today. This is a tidy NES, roughly. Let me get out the cell phone here. Okay. TV could be a bit lower. Okay, got it. That's good. Fine-ish. Yeah, it's not great audio. It's not supposed to be like broadcast quality audio, but you're supposed to be able to make out what I'm saying. Oh gosh. Why are still our things are continuing? I will set up more stuff that we're gonna need in a second. We're gonna need this for sure. And we might be good for now. Some flux. Downloading updates 18 out of... Okay, we're at the last update now. Let me get stuff out of the way. This is stuff. This is the mod that we're going to install today. And this is also part of the mod. PCPtech.es is where I got this from. If it is not working, those guys are fault. That's fine, SPU. I just want to document this because there was a video online about this specific mod, and that video got deleted from YouTube. So I want to record this and upload my video for this to be the definitive video of how to do this mod. Oh my gosh, Discord, what the heck? Okay, next time around I need to remember to just like launch Discord an hour before I start streaming so we can update. So this is the mod that we're doing today. Very nice mod. Oh, look at this shiny tech. Yeah, it's purple means it's good, right? That's how it works. Look, there's some golden, there's some Captain tape on here. There's 2 crystal chips. 2 crystals, and the mod switches between those 2 crystals, so we can get NTSC and PAL games. Jesus Christ, what kind of update? It's stressing me out, man. Should I just skip this part? Okay, so I can unplug this for sure, so we don't have to do it later, because this is the 3D printer. So, because we need to manage our connections today. And here is the manual of how to do things. I think I got this figured out. I think it'll be fine. I'm a bit nervous though. Downloading update 18 out of 18. So if things go right today, we're gonna be able to play some Street Fighter. This is the Japanese version of Street Fighter. Didn't know that it had this kind of cover. That's sick. Japanese covers are usually... Look how yellow it is on the backside. I should clean this up at some point. Got it on the flea market. Are we good, Discord? You know what? I'm just gonna start, and I'm gonna change the Discord later on. All right, hello everybody. I'm Christian, and I will be performing a 60 Hertz mod on a PAL Super Nintendo. So this is the mod I will be installing today. Focus. This is a mod by Borty4938. It's an open source kind of mod, but I bought it from a retro store from this store here in Spain. They manufacture these. You can build those yourself, but it's a bit of a tricky situation. You have to source a lot of parts and flash some stuff. So I just bought it finished, and we're going to install this mod into this. This is a PAL Super Nintendo. It is a one-chip Super Nintendo. And the idea of this mod, the reason why we're doing this today, is because, you know, this is a Super Nintendo. If I turn this on, it will run a PAL game. This is a PAL game, a PAL Super Mario World. It's fine, it's working fine. But this is a Japanese NTSC game, and if you put this in here, alas, nothing happens. And that's not because this game is broken, it's because this is a PAL console and it won't accept NTSC cartridges. It won't even accept them. There is a lockout, there's a CIC lockout, a copy protection lockout that we need to circumvent. But even if you get it to run, it will still run at the wrong frequency, because PAL consoles will run at 50 Hertz, and in order to run those NTSC games you need to bump them up to 60 Hertz, to 60 frames per second. And the hardware is in here, but it's not clocked correctly, and this is what this chip is for. It has a whole bunch of mods in one package. I've never done this mod before. I'm going to do this for the first time in my life. I have a manual here that will guide me through this process. It's a bit of a stressful process, but I think we can figure this out. So let's try. First of all, we need to unplug this bad boy and get the motherboard out. So let's go. Ah, security screws. Forgot that those existed. Ooh, that's the wrong bit. I have the correct adapter somewhere here. I need to find it. We'll be fine. Don't worry. You know what? I know where they are. Alright, so we need one of those. Focus. Yeah, you need this kind of bit, and that goes in here, and that's how you can unscrew this stuff. Let's grab this. So I actually recapped this last year already, so I know how this looks from the inside. All right. All right, so this is the eject lever. We need to remove this. There's a spring in here. Don't lose the spring. All right, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I need to get rid of. This ribbon cable comes off. I think it goes off here, right? Yeah. And we need to, later on, we're going to have to deal with this LED here, because that's also something that needs... Can you take this off? Huh. How do we get in there? I guess these clips in here. We're going to take a look at this later. First, there's some other shielding that needs to be removed, and this motherboard needs to lift out. I think I need to remove the switch. I think I need to. All right, so this RF shielding comes off, and this is how you can tell. So this is the infamous one chip. It says here chip 01. There we go, SNES one chip. So this is, in all the models, this used to be two chips, but they have been combined into one chip in the later revisions. And these are incredibly sought after because they do provide superior image quality. Yeah, these can be quite expensive, but the PAL ones are not that expensive actually. So this is a hot tip for you NTSC people if you want to get yourself a one chip NES and you want to save some money, Super Nintendo, you want to save some money, then getting a PAL one chip SNES and then doing this mod that I'm doing now will get you there. All right, so there's some screws up there. This is a bit of a wild installation. There's some more screws in here, I think. Yeah, I need a longer bit. Jesus Christ. Alright, need to remember that the screws in the back are the longer versions. Alright, and that means all this stuff will lift out. Oh my gosh, Discord finished updating now. Alright, Right, and then there's these screws in here. Let me take a photo of this so I can remember later on. Good thing I didn't wait for this code. All right, and there's, let me post this real quick. All right, so there's one thing that you need to pay attention to, and that is this part here. This is the voltage regulator. This provides the entire console with power, and it is screwed into this heatsink, this RF shielding and heatsink. And something that you absolutely need to do is unscrew this, or else if you can rip this one out, and that will be, this won't be an expensive replacement, but it's going to be painful. All right. All right, so this is the main board removed. Just a couple of notes here. I actually did some work on this before. I actually recapped this entire thing, and one of the caps is a little bit crooked, but it doesn't really matter. So this is the one chip main board. I also did some other work on the back side here. You can see there's some resistors on the back here. These are there. There's a certain mod that you can do to fix a little bit the signal that the console generates a little bit spicy, and you can just bring it down to more reasonable levels. These are just like little aesthetic mods. What we have to do today, I think, is we need to put this one in here somehow. Let me see, like this. Yeah, this is how the mods will go on. Mod will go on later, and there is a whole bunch of connections that need to be made to different parts of the board. But this is the general gist. GG. Now there's a couple of chips that you need to pay attention to. There's first this main chip here. There's going to be you have to lift a pin on this chip, and that's going to be the stressful part, because this is a very fine chip. And also, I don't want to destroy this. We need to remove this little chip. That's the copy protection lockout, the CIC chip. We need to remove this little thing here. That is going to be the old crystal. We're going to have to lift a chip on this one. It's a bit difficult to access. And we need to solder later on to this one. But we only need to lift chips on this, legs on this one and on this one. So I think I'm going to actually begin with the leg lifting, because this is the part that I am the most anxious about. So if I can get the leg lifting done, that will make me a lot more relaxed about the rest of this mod. So the idea is, from what I heard, I never did it before, is that you need to heat up your soldering iron, obviously. What is my soldering iron today? There we go, heating up. So let's try this the sRGB chip first. So with this chip, we need to lift leg 9. Let us count up the number of legs so we can see which one is which. So this is, luckily there's a really good captioning here. So this is 12, 11, 10, 9. This one, 12, 11, 10, 9. This leg needs to be lifted up. I'm going to put a little mark on there. There we go. So this one needs the lifting. Now I'm gonna get out some, I'm gonna put in some flux on this bad boy. Never bad to put some flux on there. I'm gonna get my solder. I'm using a thin tip, which is usually not the one I like, but I think for leg lifting it's better. That's what I'm thinking. That's what my thinking is. Alright, so let's see if we can pull this off. I'm not sure if this will work. Let me get in here. I don't think I need this one. I need more the knife. Where's the X-Acto knife? Where is my X-Acto knife? There we go. Can we do this like this? And we'll try not to put my head in front of the camera, but I can't promise anything. Can we get the... Oh, it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to try from this side. Oops. Well, certainly lifted that one. Looking for any kind of damage. But it seems like we're good. It was more violent than I thought. Okay, let's try to do this less violent on the big chip. So this is the big one. This is the real difficult mod is. So here we need to find pin number 111. So which one is it? I think it's, so again it's captioned, so it's like 120, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Yeah, it's this triangular shape here. It's the last pin on the triangular shape. It's weird because it seems like both are connected to the same thing. But yeah, we need to, the last thing on this, so if in case we don't see the uppermost pin on this triangular shape here, that's the one that needs to be lifted. No, the issue is not power, it's just, it's a crystal. So there's a question in the chat if you can mod it. Yes, this crystal here is what chooses how fast the console runs, and we're going to install a mod that has 2 crystals, and it can run at both NTSC and PAL. But it is a bit of a difficult thing. All right, so let's try to lift this pin. Now, this one, I'm gonna be honest. First of all, let me see if I can get my X-Acto knife in here. I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna. Okay, I think I got it in here. I'm gonna be a little bit. And I don't want to be applying too much force. And I don't want to be, because it's an X-Acto knife, I don't want to be cutting either. Concentration. It's coming out. I'm going to do a second attempt here. I think it's already lifted. Yeah, it's moving freely. Okay. Whew. There we go. The chip says hi. All right, so let me count up that. Just making sure this is the correct one. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 111. That's the one. Okay, so we have 111 here. We have 9 over there. Both legs have been lifted. So that was the stressful part. Now comes the, I just want to make sure this left is a little bit bent. Let's not move it around too much. Maybe that's not good. Okay, so I can now remove the soldering iron, and now comes the part where it's a little bit. Oh, by the way, I didn't use even any flux in here. So there's two things that we need to remove. We need to remove this chip, and we need to remove the crystal. I'm gonna start with the crystal. It's a bit of a more of a heavy-duty job. The CIC chip is a little bit more finicky, and for that, I have my trusted heat gun. So there's a whole bunch of stuff if you want to do any modding that will definitely help you modding stuff, and a heat gun is definitely one of those things that is useful to have. Let me get the X-Acto knife out of the way so I don't cut myself. Let's plug this bad boy in. All right. Let's get the games out of the way. I don't want to be accidentally destroying them. All right, so again, this is a chip or like a crystal called labeled X1, and that is what. Well, actually, I wonder. Maybe I should. Whatever. I'm just gonna do it. All right, so let's get some flux on here. Like this. Let's turn this on. Let's get some tweezers. I had some tweezers. There are some tweezers. Let's zoom in. Let's see if we can show this real. And then, all right. So I've set the heat to like what? 300, 400? 400. It's a little bit spicy, but... and then we're gonna see if we can... Let's actually get the big boys here. I want to make sure that they have a tight grip on the crystal. There we go. So this heats up the solder would melt, and I can just, the thing will just drop out. You can probably use a solder sucker as well, but I will be using the heat gun for something else later on. Oh, in a second, so I thought if I have it here, I could just as well. There we go. It drops right out. Boom. There's a capacitor missing here. But it didn't just fall out, right? It wasn't there before, huh? Whatever. Right, now comes the part that is a little bit stressful. We need to remove this chip. Now this is a bit of a stressful part, and that's why you really need the heat gun. Because this chip is responsible for the copyright protection, is a CIC chip. And you don't have to desolder it completely. There's apparently optionally you can also lift some legs on this one. So if you don't have a heat gun, you can also make this work. But I'd rather make this go away. Makes the rest of our job a little bit easier. Now there is some plastic parts nearby, and I'm worried about those plastic parts. So I have a Kapton tape thing here. And I'm going to put it on top of the plastic parts, just in case. My Kapton tape is a little bit thin, so it's a bit of a... It's not really that useful, I think. But every bit helps, I think. There we go. Just putting it around this button, this reset button. If this melts, well, I'm not going to have a reset button anymore. Which for this button, for this mod, is going to be a bit of a problem. And put some Kapton tape on top. I think when I put this up on YouTube, I probably will have to narrate this later on and edit it way down. It's a little bit boring mod. I mean, not boring, but it's kind of like there's a lot of downtime. All right. So the idea is that we're going to do the same method as before. I'm going to grab this chip and we're going to just take it off. Take it off. Take it off. Not using a lot of force. When the solder melts, it will kind of come off on its own. There we go. Easy like that. We have focus. Oh yeah, we don't focusing today, huh? There we go, that's the chip removed. And that's it is going to be it for the heat gun for today, so we can actually remove the heat gun here as well, so it's not going to be in the way. Maybe we're going to use some solder wick to remove some of the residue here, so we have a clean surface to work on, because we're going to have to solder in some stuff later on. So let me switch to a different tip. But I can tell you the hardest parts, the stuff that was causing me headaches, is already behind us. From now on, it's just soldering. Alright, so the idea is to remove the old solder a little bit, so we have clean pads to work with. There we go. Okay, by the way, something I should have done all this time and I somehow didn't do it, I don't know why, is I actually have a heat resistant mat. I've been doing all this stuff without the mat. Lucky I didn't melt anything. Alright, so before we continue, I would love to clean this a little bit up. Nothing big. I'm gonna do a big cleaning round later on, but just like, you know, just making sure that there's no gunk in here. Wonderful. All right, so this is the desoldered chip. Right, so now we can actually, so let me see, remove the CSC, remove the LED. We're gonna have to deal with the LED later. Lift at the 9-pin on the sRGB, and okay, so now we install the actual mod. So there's numbers on the mod. You can see the numbers. There's numbers on each pin, and there's numbers on this here as well, and that helps you aligning it. I think this right side needs to be aligned with this. Oh, actually no, it goes all across this entire part here. That's good. I'm sliding it a little bit in here. There is a bit of a flex happening here. Obviously there's some components in here wedged underneath. They will create a bit of a gap, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as there's no short circuit, you know. Alright, and then let's start soldering. Now this is the part that will be very difficult to undo later on, so this is the point of no return, I guess. So each one of those little square pins needs to be soldered in. The other ones don't have to be soldered in because they don't actually do any connections. I should get a fume extractor at some point. I'm doing enough soldering for this kinds of stuff to matter. Oh, that must be ground or something. Oh, this too, huh? Well, it's not my prettiest soldering job. I'm gonna clean this up in a second. All right. All right, for these ones, let me boost up the temperature a little bit. This is indeed ground. All right. Checking if there's a pad that we missed, but I think we're good. They're a little bit blobby, those soldering connections, but as long as they make contact, that's all we need, actually. Right, so now we need to go through a whole bunch of pads in here, and we have to attach them to the various points in the console. First of all, maybe not as important, but still not unimportant, where there's two pads in here that control which kind of LED we're going to use later on, and we have a common cathode, I think. Let me see. Yeah, common cathode. So this refers to this longer pin in the center here. This can be either the anode or the cathode, so either negative or positive. In this case, for this LED, I checked this is the common cathode, which is negative. And this is apparently typical for these kinds of LEDs. This is not an RGB LED, this is a red-green LED. So it either is red or green. And so this part will make it go green, this part will make it go red, or other way around, and the middle one is negative. And for negative ones, we need to close this one. For the other one, we need to close the other one. All right. Now comes the fun part. So I need to go through the list of all of those connections at the bottom here and wire tiny little wires in here and wire the wires where they need to go. Are the wires small enough to fit through the vias? I wonder. Oh no, they're just a little bit too big. Oh, that's too bad. I should have gotten smaller wires. Well, in this case, we're gonna have to put them through. Really? They don't go to the vias? Oh man. Maybe I have to use the bigger vias, like here, this one. And this one will go through here. Oh no, this is gonna be an adventure. I think these vias also work. The ones on the edge here. Right, so let's get started. So let's get started on this one. So this, the reset in, that goes to CIC pad 8. So the CIC pad 8 is this one. That should be, yeah, I see where it goes. Now something I want to check is how I can route the cables, because I have my wire is too thick, so it doesn't fit into the tiny vias. So I need to be a bit more creative with the routing. It's going to be a bit of a messy mod. Okay. You see. Yeah, because this rests on the actual plastic in here, so we are a little bit limited in how we can route things. We should route them always through those thick vias, if we can. Okay. Can we route them through the thick vias? Let me see where the shroud goes. So don't do as I do, kids, buy really thin wires. Yeah, see, the vias on the outside don't even work, but these should be fine. Because of this metal. This metal touches the other metal, and so So you cannot even actually use the vias in the metal part, but you can use the vias here on the sides here. So I will take advantage of those for sure. Oh boy. All right, so let us think about how we're gonna route this. So this will be here, and it will go through. Let's say, oh, let's not overdo things. Let's say it will go through one of the vias. Yeah, let's route it through this via here. So here's my thinking. You see, there's the tiny little holes. And I'm going to put one through this hole. Or yeah, let's put it through this hole. And then that will connect to the pad on the chip in here, right? Just installing it back in to make sure that there's not going to be any issues. Oh wait, that's not even the right shroud. This is the right shroud. It will go in here like this. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Okay, good. All right, so this goes to pad number 8, it says. Okay, let's try that. Let's melt away some of that isolation. That stinks. Can we use... the problem is that these wires are so thin. If you use the wire stripper, you actually cut into the wire. Let's see if we can make it without fingernails. I don't like that. That might be damaging the wire. But what can you do? So this should go into pin number 8, which is this pin right here. Let me pre-tin that pin. We're pre-tinning a bunch of pins in here, but that's fine. I think we don't have enough solder on there. Let me try this. I want a good connection in here. All right. I think this is good. Checking continuity. Let's see, but we haven't bridged any pins or anything like this. Nope. Nope. Good. Focus. Focus, focus. All right. And And so this should go in here. Let me use the, this is so dumb. This is so dumb that I don't have a good wire stripper for these. Uh-oh. It felt like something came loose, but apparently not. Okay. Where is... Okay, so this goes in here. Perfect. All right. So while we are operating on the CIC, there's a second wire that needs to go to the CIC, so let's do that right away. This time around I'm going to be maybe... Yeah, let's do it this way around. So this just reading there's some additional instruction. So this pad right here, that goes also to a different place in the CIC. These are pins that are related to the reset button. They reset the console. And what I'm trying to do here is, because this chip will actually, it can reset with the controller. There's a feature that the controller will reset the console. And also you operate the device by pressing the reset button. And so I am currently, let's cut off some stuff. So I'm wiring them. So this would be maybe a good opportunity for, nah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna put them both in a hole nearby. Okay. Should we cross the streams? We're going to cross the streams. Maybe we shouldn't cross the stream. That doesn't matter. Whatever I do, it will cross the streams. And so this will go to pad number 10. I'm pre-cutting the insulation so there's a weak point. So pad number 10 is this one. It's very clearly labeled, it's very nice. What are we doing? Whoops. Let me a little bit. I think I broached something here. Let me check. says it's not bridged. I mean, if it's not bridged, it's not bridged. I'm not gonna second guess, but I will maybe rework it a little bit. I think it's a little bit messy. It's putting some more solder in here. It feels a little bit weak, the connection. Oops. There we go. Just adding a whole bunch of solder on here. So we have a nice blob, and now I'm gonna try this again. There we go. It's a little bit, oh man, I'm fine-tuning this. This cable is a little bit long. Let me shorten this a little bit. Like this. Okay, now it works. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So the first ones are finished. What else? I will glue them in later with custom tape, but first we will have to probably clean it up a little bit. So the next two pins are for the LEDs. We're going to deal with them later. These go into the controller port. So let's get these out of the way. They're not going to be difficult ones. We can use the shorter cables, like this one. I'm going to prepare 3 of those because there's going to be 3 that go into controller. With the LEDs, we're going to have to figure out how to best to route the LEDs from the mod. That's going to be a challenge still ahead of us. But we're kind of like, we're doing well. Alright, so let me solder in these 3 cables to the ports. Like so. they're a little bit too long. I did a little bit of an useless thing. So they have to go. They have to attach to this part here. It's 10, 8, and 6. So yeah, so they're like next to each other here. If I use the whole cable, I think it's going to be a bit too long. So let me trim them down to like the right length. Like something like this, I think is fine. Shouldn't have stripped the isolation on those. We're in it. All right, so let's now remove the isolation. So this time I'm going to be a little bit more careful, in the sense that I will strip less. Okay. Okay. And now, so they're just right next to each other. There's no weirdness happening. This is very convenient. Putting some solder in first. Okay. And now, so this is number 10. This is the outermost. Like this. This is the middle one. And this is the last one. Okay. And these are the 3 wires. Easy as pie. All right, so now comes the important cable. This next cable is going to go to the actual pin that we lifted. Oh my gosh, what's happening here? So how are we going to do this? Somehow we need to get something in here. Maybe from the other side. Makes sense perhaps to route it here, through a hole here, and then all around here. I don't see a much better solution. All these holes, all these vias are too big. Yeah, I made this job a lot harder for me by choosing the wrong kind of cable, but it's the one that I had. Whatever. All right, let's cut off a big piece. And I'm thinking, what are you thinking about? I'm thinking here. Nope. Here. Yeah, that would be good, right? And then it comes out and you can route it around. Alright, so it goes in here. And again. Let's put some solder on there. I'm going to put it on both, on this one and the one next to it. And then oh my gosh. Let's, oh my gosh, there's a little bit. Okay. The problem is, oh, like with cooking, with cooking, the secret to good cooking is always making sure everything is there when you need it. With soldering, it's also a little bit more the management, the usability. All right, so I think something like this seems good, right? Focus. Yeah, something like this, so that it goes from this pin into this hole. And then on this side, we're gonna attach it like this, I think. So we have a little bit of a loop there. Of course, we're going to check continuity later. Okay. So like this and like that. Let me put some solder here. Now I'm going to see if I can bend this pin higher. I'm a little bit nervous about this, but I think it's better if it's higher. Right, so it's really removed from the other ones. Okay, it's on there. Yeah, I will glue it in later on, so it's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere, but it seems good. Right. So there's the next one next to it, this clock, SIC clock. There's different things we can do here. We should we could put it to C74, this one, because apparently it goes to the same pin. Let's see how that works. So we can solder it to this bad boy in here, which I wish I knew previously. So let's see. Could have saved me some soldering. Yeah. What about the other pad? Okay, so it's the left pad. Oops, I did it. No connection, but the left pad. Yeah, okay. That is a cool tip on this manual. That's a very good manual, has some really good advice. So we can solder it to the left pad of this C74. And we shall. We get a tiny little bit of wire. Do we have we had some wiring around. There we go, there's a little bit. You can just reuse this bit, it's not that long. Yeah. Let's try that. So we're gonna get this out of the way. We're gonna add some of our own solder in here. Like so, and then we're gonna bring it in. Bring it in, bring it in. It's gonna bit of a spike on there. Need to easy, very easy. I want to fix the soldering joint a little bit because it's a little bit overcooked. Let's not put that much. There we go. Okay. Oh, wow, look at this. Look at us. Very nice. So the next one is going to go to either X1 or CPUN9 from bottom side controller port. Where is CPUN? Is CPUN? Is this one? I think it is. So we could either solder it on this one, pin number 9, or to where the clock was. I think I know where I want to solder it on. I'm just making sure that this is the correct one. So. Oh, wait, it's this one. Okay. All right, so we need to solder it to this one. Doody. Like this. And then one more, and then we can deal with the difficult task of figuring out the RGB LED. I tell you, removing the isolation on these is like the worst part of it. Damn, I'm not locked in, so I cannot moderate away this annoying comment. Right, so that's, for some reason they didn't put any solder on this pin here. Isn't that strange? Okay, so maybe a little bit long, huh? Yeah, it's a little bit long. Could be a bit short. What do we think? Something like this is better, probably, huh? There we go. I was able to ban after all. Right, let's. All right. Like this. So this is going to be the cable that provides either this clock or this clock with the rest of the motherboard. And there's one last piece remaining, and then we can wire up the LEDs. And that is going to go to RGB pin 9. So this is the one that we lifted at the very beginning, this one. That's where it needs to go. How do we get there? Is a question I'm asking myself. We could go through this X2 capacitor. It's a little bit of a long way, but it's probably the best way. Yeah, I don't see any other via, and I think these holes are mounting holes. So we cannot use those. We could. This is a viable path, but there's also, again, there's a one inside this capacitor. There's a hole. So I'm gonna actually use this probably. Yeah, all the vias are tiny here. Remember, kids, use smaller. I don't know which gauge wire this is, but it's a little bit too much gauge. It's pretty fine, don't get me wrong. Oh wait, there's a hole in here. Oh, this is a good hole. I might actually use this one. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one. Makes totally sense. So we're gonna wire this that way around. Well, I need to. Next to the voltage regulator. Oh my gosh, what a crazy. I hate wires. I hate them. I hate you. Let's cut this off. All right. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so it goes into this hole right here, and it comes out here, the voltage regulator, and then we can wire it over. First, let me attach it to the pin number 9. Wait, I still don't not. Let me look at this pin number 9 a little bit better. I think we can bend it up higher. Yep. It's a little bit tricky with all the capacitors. The big checking capacitor. If you're doing this while recapping the device, that's probably the best opportunity. I'll kind of have to do it blind here. It feels it's a little bit wobbly. Let me figure this out on my own. I think, oh, the camera can still see it. That's good. Nope. Oof. Nah. Seems like it's the pad touching the pad underneath. This is tricky. And I would love to have like a more physical connection, because they're relying on the. Oh Jesus Christ! It slipped off. Oh my gosh! Can't be balancing on this stuff. Oh, it's really hardcore. Yeah, I think we got it. Yeah. Whew. I want to make sure that when I put on the shroud, that it won't pinch in the cable. So where is the shroud? This the shroud goes on this. Yeah, it goes like this. I want to make sure that we are not, that there's enough room. Maybe we should go. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I mean, this needs to have a bit of a loop. This needs to have a bit of a loop, so you can attach something to this part here. Or can I maybe route it underneath? Is there a hole? There is a hole there. That would maybe make it less prone to issues. Let's try that. So we're going to route it here between the legs of the. I'm going to route it through between the legs of the voltage regulator, like so. Why is it? Oh, Jesus Christ! Why is it so twisty? Straighten out already. Okay. Okay. Whew. And then we're gonna attach it like this. I want to route it maybe like this. So, because here's a bunch of other stuff, and I want to maybe glue it in with Captain later on, and for that, I think coming from the side makes a little bit more sense. And that will be, I think, the last normal pad, and then we're gonna have to think about the LEDs. Nobody likes to think about LEDs. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh no, I think I made a hole in my, I cut my clothes with the X-Acto knife. Could be worse. Could be part of my body. All right. Oh wait, so I did route it. Okay, so let's put it like this. Yeah. See, it will make a little bit knick here, but whatever. Did I make a hole here? Jesus, oh no, I made a hole. All right, so this is roughly the situation happening right now. So now I want to make sure that all the connections are connected correctly to the pins that they're supposed to go to. And then we're gonna glue them, the wires in, so they're not in the way. And then we're gonna think about how best to attach the LEDs. So let me do some testing. Okay. Then, okay, these should be fine. I'm gonna check them either way. Okay. Yep. Oh, see, good that we checked. This wasn't actually soldered. The connection was loose. Man, this part is the hardest soldering job here. Just getting this stupid cable solder into this. Let me put some flux on there. Why are we having such trouble here? I thought that this was fixed in there, but apparently not. Oh, wait. The heat is not on. Heat is on. And then once that is finished, we're going to do some cleanup, and then we're going to check out the LEDs. What the heck? It just doesn't want to connect. It's so weird. Okay, I think it's on now. I think it's on now. Okay, I think we got it. Okay. Whew. All right, so now all the connections are done. Let us do some cleanup with isopropyl alcohol and some Q-tips. And then we're gonna think about, I'm gonna put some Kapton tape, and then we're gonna figure out the LED. The LED is something that I'm still not sure about, honestly. Okay. All right. I'm gonna clean. This board was a little bit, I think one of the capacitors spilled. So I had to do a lot of cleanup on this board already. Kind of already happy that the state it is in, it was a lot worse state. All right, so let us now, because these are loose cables, and obviously when moving things around they will vibrate and might vibrate loose. So I want to now add some Kapton tape to make sure they're not moving around as much as they have to. I'm going to start with this side first, and I'm going to go to the back side. This part is a bit awkward. There's very little places where I can put them. I didn't think that this would be such a... I maybe should have routed it other way around, because that would have been easier to fix. Now it's like really difficult to get a good place for the Kapton tape. This is already too far, I feel. Oh my gosh, you can't even press it in. Oh wow, it's just not gluing it in it. Jesus Louise. What? I hate this. I hate this. Why are you not gluing? If this don't work, I'm gonna maybe use a bit of a... Might use a bit of a... Yeah, it's just like... I'm not sure why, it's just don't want to glue it in. I might use hot glue for this one. Do not like hot glues, mods, but what can you do? Alright, while the hot glue is heating up, oh man, these are also a little bit kind of fine. I'm gonna start doing the backside maybe. Okay, 2 more pieces. It's a little bit much Captain Tape, but you know what? It doesn't hurt, right? It just doesn't hurt. I don't want to be these wires to be under tension. I don't want to be them shaking loose. Like this. Hey. Right, so maybe one more piece up there. All right. So just making sure that none of the wires go anywhere. So the hot glue seems to be finished, I think. Yeah, it is. So let me see where I can put a dab. I want to make sure that this wire is not under tension because it might break this little leg. Oh my gosh, it's so difficult to get in there. Maybe we should use something else, and maybe not this. Listen, it's not the prettiest mod. It should be pretty when you turn it on. Okay. These are connections here, and here we have like the little hot glue stuff. Let me... Oh man, this dab is just not... They're just not glued to the... I swear to God. They just don't hold to the PCB. It's like the PCB here is coated, so it doesn't hold anything. Okay, I think that's better. Oh my gosh, I hate the little strings that the hot glue makes. Makes everything so messy. Alright, so I don't think we need hot glue anymore. So this is what it looks like now. Now, sorry for... Yeah, not very pretty, but it does the job. Alright, so we're almost done. What time is it? Almost 3 o'clock, so it's definitely time to wrap things up. So let me put this aside for a second and let me get up this. I don't know how this works. So this part here has an LED and we need to swap out this LED somehow, but I don't know how. Can we move this? Remove this? There is a latch here. There's multiple latches, I think. I'm worried that I will break something. It is definitely moves. Oh wait. So I can make it go like this, but then it still doesn't move. How is this? What if I go like this? No, it's not moving. I have no idea. I don't see any screws. Okay, it seems like... Okay, this plastic part does come off somehow. Can I now make it go out? Oh! Okay. So this removes this part. And what now? Bro, don't let me desolder this stuff. We're not going there. Is it soldered in here? No way. I can get this out, but how is this attached? Because like these solder points, they go, those pins go into these pins. So there's a firm connection in there. This is a puzzling part. There is some give here, but not nearly as much as I would hope. Do I have to desolder these connections? That would be nuts. Let me look up some. I did take some photos of other mods. How do they do this? Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right. So there is a way to do this. Apparently, we have to desolder the existing LED without disassembling the thing. Well, that's going to be exciting. I'm going to take my solder sucker for this. That is a messy part of the build. All right, you can already tell. Oh, this doesn't want to come out. Come on. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Why is it not getting out? Jeez Louise, come on. Oh man, I'm destroying those pads here. Let me trim out those. Is it connected somewhere else? Oh, there's like tiny holes that you need to push it out through. Oh my gosh, look at this. What a mess. Let me check. So this here, that's supposed to be ground. So this is ground, and we have to solder in here the ground from our new LED. I need to do some cleanup in a second. Let me get this out of the way for a second. Right, where's our LED? Where's our new LED? Where is it? Cleaning time. I found it. The new LED we keep. Ah, Jesus! I'm getting stressed out a little bit. Jeez. All right, so let me clean up a little bit. Cleaning up always helps a little bit. De-stressing, decluttering. This is trash. This is this, even if I'm gonna need this stuff at some point again. Getting it out of the way now helps me organize. All right. All right, so here is the new LED. I need to check which one is which. There's a green side and there's a not green side. So this is red and the shorter one is green. So the shortest one is green. So if I put it like this, so it's I'm supposed to put it in here like this, and it's supposed to be a little bit bent over like this, so it fits nicely into this groove. Definitely not the prettiest part of this build. Hopefully it will be fine. How does that connect to the top housing? Yeah, there's just like a little nook that it goes into. Okay, got it. Well, we're gonna just try it out. We're gonna see how this works. Right, so the shortest one is green, we said. So let me put a little red dot on the one that is supposed to be red. We can later wipe it away. Oh, not a red dot, but I marked the part that is going to be red. Right, and then it goes in here, I guess. Let me see how to best bend these leads. Like this, right? Oh man, this needs to go definitely bend, needs to get bent harder. Well, the red and green don't need to be attached to the PCB, but the ground certainly does. So these go like this. Like this, right? So let me cut it off here. So I'm thinking like this, right? Seems good. I'm going to put a dab of solder on here. Okay. And then we're going to try to finagle this into place. Yeah, sounds good. Like this. And now, so now these two leads are going to be the need to be connected to our board. This is a bit of an issue because this is, if I glue it into the board permanently, I'm worried that I won't be able to remove it later on. You see, I'm not sure how best to solve this problem, because I'm not sure how these go together. But let me figure this out. First, we're going to reassemble everything. I think it goes like this, right? Yeah. Like this. So then it will be in here. There's a ribbon cable. Okay. And these will be on the side here. Just give me a reset button, reset knopf. Oh, are we? Oh, this is upside down. This is the wrong part. This is not what we need right now. What we need right now is this. So this goes in here. This goes on here. There's going to be a shield here. That's good. And now we need to somehow, I mean, it seems like it's not going to be any problem, right? We can just route a cable up there. Although, oh no, we have to go underneath here. Okay. But I will probably make a plug out of this. Nonetheless. Because I like doing plugs. So I can unplug it if I don't need this anymore. So something like this. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna maybe like this. It's gonna be just here, like so. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, so let me cut it to length, like this. Beautiful, flying around in my eyes. If you bring them together a little bit, yes, very good. Beautiful. Yeah, so our little plug. And in order for this plug not to fly away, we can also hot glue it, so we need hot glue after all. Oh no. Maybe we don't need hot glue it, whatever. Where's hot glue? And then we need to prepare the right wires. We're gonna have a red wire and a green wire. It's gonna be amazing. What? Oh, I'm not plugged in? I am plugged in. Why are you not working? Oh, it's not fully plugged in. And then meanwhile we can already start preparing the wires. So one is going to be red. Should be more than enough. I have a red wire here. Yeah, I have red wire. What is with my wire organizer? This is where it's all falling apart, Lisa. It should be enough. Okay, we have hot glue. Like so. Then we can turn it off again. Then here are two pieces of wire. We have green and red, so we know which color is which. And then we create the plug. Like so. Now crimping. Oh man. That's the wrong pliers. I tell you, if this works, it's going to be so sick. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. There we go. So, that is the green one. The red one. Now comes the green one. Yep. Good. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. Right, so this plug goes in here, and we notice that this part here is red. So this goes in red. And this goes in blue. And now we can plug it in here. And we have a beautiful red and green. Did I say blue? Green connection. Now I don't know exactly how long the wire has to be. Let me check. Feels like heaven. They're way too long, but that's good. That's what you want to have. Too long wire is not as bad as too short of a wire. So I think they need to be like this length. Like so. And then we're going to solder them in, and then we're going to do a test. We're going to do a test. All right, so what did they say? Red is supposed to be 60 Hertz. Okay. That's what I recommend. That's what I will use. Pre-tinning those wires. my gosh, what's happening here? Okay. A little bit of a messy wire situation, so we can unplug this. The nice thing about the plug is we can unplug the plug and we can concentrate on soldering. So 60 Hertz goes on the red wire, and 50 Hertz on the green wire. And yes, these wires are a little bit thicker than the rest. It's a little bit ironic because this is the least important wire. Oh, what do you know? Yeah, okay, so I think we're done. We are done here. So let's see if we can make some beautiful music. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to attach everything. I think this goes in like this, right? Okay. There was a switch. A so-called Nintendo Switch. Oh, I'm so funny. All right. And now, the moment we've been all waiting for. First, I'm going to attach it without a TV on. We're going to see how that works. So, let us plug in the... Oh, let's not burn our wires. Oh. All right, it's not screwed in, so this plastic thing wants to fly away. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if it works. Red LED is on. Otherwise nothing. Okay, but that's to be expected. Let's now put in a... First of all, let's put in a normal PAL. It's working. Oh, there's some jittering going on, but I think it's also... Huh. All right, so this is now, should be PAL now. Okay. Yeah, so this is now PAL, the green is PAL. It looks good. Yeah, and the orange means auto select. But it doesn't auto select very well. Oh no, this is the auto select. No, it selects badly. I tell you, there is supposed to be an orange one, but the orange is very difficult to to recognize, and also it doesn't select automatically very well, because you can see that there's jittering. I think the jittering means that it's running on NTSC while it should be running on PAL. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so let's see now if the Street Fighter works. That's the real tricky one. Wait a minute. I'm gonna switch to red. Nothing. Maybe bad connection. Nope. Oh, we see something. So maybe still bad connection. Oh, there's stuff happening. Alright, I'm going to try a different card. Super Mario RPG, let's try that one. Doesn't want to. I think it doesn't work. Yeah. Puyo Puyo. Nope. Just absolutely not working. Crazy. Like not even slightly. What? Oh, it's working! Victory! Woo! Yes! Oh my gosh! Oh, this is sick. Oh, I almost gave up hope. That's sick. Okay, so let's see if we can make the other ones work. Let's see if Super Mario RPG can we make it work? I think the contacts are just really dirty on this one. I know this is also one of the difficult ones too. Maybe I need to unscrew it and clean the contacts. Look, there's stuff happening. It tries to do stuff. Good thing I had multiple cards here to test. Yeah, it does. It tries to do something. Alright. I think this is not a good card. Let's see if the Puyo Puyo works again. Yeah, that just straight up works. Yeah, I think it's it's a dirty card situation. I think this Street Fighter also is suffering from this. Oh wait, wrong mode. What? There's something wrong here. The reset button doesn't... Now it switches. Let's try this again. Alright, maybe as easy as cleaning the contacts, I'm not sure. But Puyo Puyo definitely works. And if I switch this to PAL, will this flicker? Yeah, now it runs slower. Very cool. Alright, so mod works, but my games might need some cleaning. So let me put everything back together and we have a working SNES. Right, so how did everything come together? First, I think I need to add this shield in the back. Where was that? That's the front shield, this is the back shield. This bad boy. How does that go on there? Like so. I made a photo, luckily. Let me, while I'm doing this, let me unplug all this stuff here. Oh my, I just realized the hot glue came off. Well, could be worse. How does this screw in? Okay. very important is to screw in the voltage regulator, because if that's not screwed in, then it will overheat. All right. And now I think, yeah, it just goes into this. Like so. So I know that there's 2 screws in the back that are longer. Wait, these are the ones. Oh yeah, I needed this for this. All right, so now 1, 2. Oh yeah, these screws. They screw in the. There's like silver screws that screw in the cartridge slot. Now comes this part. Goes in here. 2 screws. Alright, and these are the outer screws. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws left. So there's going to be these screws in here, the ones for the. Why do we have 5 screws? Is there a screw that I'm missing? Is there a screw here underneath? No. Weird. Yeah, 5 screws. Weird. There's 2 here. Did this get in? Oh yeah, these get also screwed in. Yeah, okay. Wait, no. Huh. I'm not sure. I'm gonna figure this out later. I will do a video review. Good thing that I recorded everything, so any mistakes I did, I can backtrace. Yeah, but it's just like these 2. Huh. All right. All right. Now our little cable loony. putting in the ribbon cable. Like so. So yeah, these are not going to get screwed in, but we're going to screw in this. And then we have this part here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. And that's going to be it. Where did the one screw go? Oh! What about these? Are these? No. Odd, odd, odd. Weird. Okay. So that's an on-off switch. Now comes this part here. And that has a bit of a spring. Where's that spring? There's the spring. How does that spring work? Must be like this. Or like this. You never know. I'm guessing it's like this. Yeah, that's the way this works. But man, where's that screw? Oh, is it up here? Yeah. Okay, that's the one. Whew. Caught it. Right, and now comes this part here, and then closing it all up. Where's the bit? That is it. That is the bit. Where did I put it? I swear to God. I thought I put it in here somewhere. Ah, very good. All right, and that is us. That is our beautiful baby boy. Let us make sure that it's working one last time. Hey! Very nice. And the other ones don't work. Well, Super Mario works, but needs maybe... so this will flicker now because it's NTSC mode. Yeah, it flickers. Okay, so now we hold it, put it in PAL mode, and now it's in PAL mode. Oops. Oh, so good. Now it's in auto select, but it doesn't really work in auto select. Maybe it needs to boot into it. Now Super Mario RPG. Nope. Does not like to work. Nothing. And Street Fighter. Also nothing. Yeah, but we need to maybe clean them up a little bit. They're very dirty. I did manage to download the ROM, so they do, technically, they're not damaged. They're maybe just a connection issue. Oh, now it wants to... It's weird. Oh! Yeah, I think it just bugs out. Doesn't know what to do. But this works. It's weird, you can see it switches from one mode to another. I guess it gets more square once you put it into NTSC mode. Yeah, so this is NTSC mode. That's not good, it's flickering. And the PAL mode is good. Alright. So, thank you so much for joining me on this stream. This mod was somewhat successful, but we might need to do some maintenance on the games or need to figure out what the problem is with their other games. Thank you so much for joining me. And so yeah, the normal Pico 8 streams and Picotron streams, I'm not sure when I will be able to do the next one. Because tomorrow there is a thing with my daughter, and on the weekend it's going to be also difficult. But next week for sure, I'm going to be streaming a lot next week. So get ready for a lot of streaming next week. There we go. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you next time around. Bye bye.